Get this. This is too good not to share. So I have an aid worker. I don't know why I'm whispering. I guess I'm whispering because she just left. But I have an aid worker that was letting me think that she couldn't work during the whole COVID crisis. And uh, then I get sick, which what I think is COVID, but I don't know. I never got tested because I didn't get that sick. I mean, it wasn't as bad as the flu. So I'm kind of like, I don't want nobody here because I don't know what I got. So there's a week gone. I haven't confronted her or seen her yet since I found out that she's been deceiving me and gold bricking, which is a ridiculous term. I don't even know if it's maybe an anachronism. Being a lazy bitch, okay? That work better for you? Works better for me. So, anyways, so I don't even see her for like a long time. I'm like, oh, I'm not going to confront her when I do see her because I just want her to do like a couple of simple tasks. So I see her for the first time, uh, what's today, Thursday, on Tuesday. And all I tell her, I feel like hell, man. I feel like a Wolverine that's been hit by a car. In other words, I'm mean and vicious and injured. And I'm like, don't want to deal with it. I'll just send her to get a few food items because my food's been running out. Uh, and leave it at that. So that's what I did. But I talked to her and she said, I got to go in at 7 a.m. to go to the heart doctor. And I'm like, what's up? And she's like, I've been feeling like lightheaded and I've just been feeling wrong lately and all this. So I got this aid worker that's been screwing me out of housework for months. Today's the day. I'm like, bitch, be doing some housework today. So I'm like, I got plans for her. She comes in and I'm like, well, I want you to go to the post office and mail this for me, but when you get back, I want you to help me move a few things around. And she's got like a thing around her neck. She's like, I'm wearing a heart monitor. I'm not supposed to be doing any lifting or carrying. I'm like, you have got to be shitting me. You have got to be kidding me, man. Isn't that funny? It's like today's the day, and I can't kill her. I want to kill her, but I can't kill her and make her do work. And it's kind of funny because I got this big box of those old books I was telling you about that my aunt gave me when she got out of prison, like in the early '80s, and asked me about for 20 years. And I'm like, I got to get rid of this big ass box. Now this box, it weighs like it. I was able to lift it. I got upper body strength. I was able to lift it and set it from in front of the window, and then I was going to like hand it to her out to the window, which is right next to the garbage cans. And that way she won't have to do any carrying. It's the same thing I do with the garbage bags and stuff, because she's woohoo. And anyways, so I'm like, oh, can't ask her to lift them boxes or that box of books. I'm just gonna have to do that myself on my baker sis knee and lift them out there and maybe like open up a garbage can and throw one book in the garbage at a time. I know it sounds terrible throwing away books, but you gotta understand these are like 30-year-old textbooks. Okay, they may still be focused on Freud and penis envy and stuff like that. I'm talking about discredited claims because one of them is a psychology book that I read like years ago. So uh, it's not like I'm a book burner or like I should be donating these to somebody. They could be learning from them. And it's also like an American history book. And history is just a bunch of lies made up by the winners of wars. So, it's, I know history. Give a fuck about no history. Anyways, I was like in history class. I had, this is a digression, of course, but I had a guy named Mr. Miller who was a gym coach. And all he did was have us memorize facts. And I'm like, facts? This is a bunch of bullshit. It's like, they did all kind of heinous shit, raping and pillaging. And, it's like it's all just a bunch of crap made up because we won. And in Orwellian fashion, they just make up the past, and say, like, the people that got the power, they just make up the past. The Orwell expression from his book was he who controls the past controls the future. So you just make up a bunch of lies, and hey, how'd we get into power? Well, we didn't like murder a whole bunch of children and rape a bunch of women and kill a bunch of people. We just got into power because we had the better army. We didn't actually do any war crimes like George Bush Sr. was actually uh, strafed civilians, which means like he was in a fighter plane and there was like people in lifeboats and he's just like blah 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 blah, killing them. No prisoners. Yeah, I think that was World War II. So World War II was kind of a no prisoners type of attitude. And don't believe for a second that that didn't happen on both sides. We're like, I know for a fact because my uncle Joe told me he's like, prisoners my ass, man. Prisoners meant like you took them off because he was on the islands. He was like, you took them off in the trees in the jungle and you just heard a bunch of gunshots because, you got to worry about your prisoners revolting on. You got to worry about feeding them. Meanwhile, you're trying to fight other people and stuff. So, don't believe. I got the inside dope from a guy who was in World War II about how this shit goes down. So, anyways, by throwing out them books, I am not like committing some kind of blasphemous act. Even though, as an erudite, wordy motherfucker like myself, I have a great respect for the written word. So, I don't know what the hell I'm going to tell this bitch when she get back. You want to play some gin rummy? I mean, because I just wanted to clear out the living room because I've been being lazy. I don't feel confident walking on the street, the concrete, and the bricks. Because the street that I walk, I literally be hit in the head with a brick. Like I was a victim of a rioter or something. Because if I fall down the alley that I always walk on, I'm hitting bricks. I'm literally hitting the bricks. So I was like, well, I can get her to push all the stuff that these people that have been telling me they want it, but just leave it in my house. I was like, I don't got no place to put it, so I can have her like help me put the stuff in the hallway. Not gonna happen apparently. And it's like she was kind of looking at me dubiously, you know. And it's like, so I guess I gotta do it all myself. And yeah, that's gonna be fun. Like I said, she's kind of like too big to fit in that hallway area anyway, but it's going to be fun. It's going to risk exposure to a bunch of people that I hate in this building, for one thing. And I don't know what to tell her when she gets back. She should be getting back here shortly, but I just thought you'd find that funny. It's like, yeah, I got an aid worker now that not only like screwed me out of housework for months, but now she has a doctor's excuse for screwing me. And I'm like, what does it monitor? Does it monitor like your heart rate? And she's like, yeah. And it's like, can it tells if you have arrhythmia? And she's like, yeah. And of course, they took a bunch of tests that she put it, and they didn't tell her anything. So that's about it. I mean, the other thing that happened is, I yeah, I'm trying not to overdraft, right? So I went. That's why I sent her to the post office. I only sent her with one item, right? I sold 3 cards for $212. I mean, I killed, but only one person paid on time, and the other people didn't pay. I bought a card for $27.50. I sold it for $120.17. Okay, that's how you do it. The problem is the guy didn't pay, and he ain't paid yet. And it's like, yeah, I need that money in the bank, And they do have a new thing on eBay where, like, if you pay a 1% percentage, they can do an instant transfer into your bank instead of it taking 2 to 3 days. So I was able to throw more money in the bank. But yeah, I'm just trying to get some money in the bank. But the one card I sold for $53.99, the other card I sold for $120.17. They didn't pay. The card that I sold for $49 and something, they paid. That's what's going to the post office. I just put up some more auctions for a 1 day auction for tomorrow, hoping that somebody pays. So I just put up like 3 auctions that go off tomorrow, like 1 day auctions. Like I got to get some money in the bank. You know, I got like till the third here. And I'm worried about overdrafting because I don't know what came in and what came out. So it was like, yay! I sold that shit for 3 times. After you do the subtraction, that's like 3 times subtraction for what they take out of you. eBay takes a bite, PayPal takes a bite, shipping takes a bite. That's 3 bites. The PayPal bite is pretty intense. I don't know what eBay bite is anymore, but I'm like a newbie at this, like making the ads and stuff. I just been stealing people's pictures, which is a no-no, because like I don't have no camera, but I need to get some money. So I just like, save image as, finding a picture of like, okay, this is the same card as I'm selling. Save image as, download it into computer, take that picture, and it represents the card, but it's not the actual card I'm selling. So, you're not supposed to do that. If you do that, I didn't say like, picture of actual card. I just didn't say anything about it. You're not supposed to do that, but I did it. And anyways, that's about it. I should eat something. I haven't. It's 1:44. I've been up since early. Early being uh, 7:30. I haven't. I'm really hungry. My food comes tomorrow, which is cool. And yeah, but everything else is not cool. I just think it's hilarious. Like, they need to send me a different aid worker. I mean, uh, yeah, I actually don't mind this lady, except for the fact that she screwed me over. I mean, other people there are annoying. She's less annoying, but she still screwed me over, and I can't get no actual house worker out of her. Now, legally, by doctor's orders, she ain't allowed to lift shit. So, what am I going to tell? She's not allowed to get her heart rate up. So, what the fuck can I tell her to do? I gave her quarters to go to the. I don't have any, like, paper money here. I just got the jangly money. So, I just gave her a bunch of quarters to go to the post office. She can maybe drag that out for an hour and a half. I don't know. That some days I'll just give her like a wink, but not a wink. Like, take your time. In other words, I don't have nothing else for you to do. Like the last time that I saw her, I was like, I just need these few items. I need you to deposit this money in the bank and need these few items of groceries and take your time doing it because it's right by my house. And yeah, and she has the 2 hours. So she may stretch it out to almost exactly 2 hours. In other words, sitting in the car doing this. Um, I still want to deal with nobody that day, man. I was afraid of my own temper. Just felt horrible. I don't feel great today, but I don't feel like I did 2 days ago. Um, my knee's evil, as we know. It is an incarnation of Satan himself. Uh, but I've been able to take it easy on the Neurontin, taking just one pill the last 2 days, and I've been okay. The day that I felt like a Wolverine, I took, I think two, and then it got a little bit better throughout the day, and yeah, I mean it hurts while I'm laying here, but yeah, I was just talking to somebody on the internet. They might even be watching this since I'm so damn entertaining. So bald and so white and ghostly and ethereal looking in this lighting. Just magnetic personality. And I'm sure he's watching this. But I was talking to him, this guy in the UK, about his knee, and he was like, you know, asking for advice, and I'm like, my knee is so bad, like I can't give you no advice on a knee. Uh, My knee's this bad. He got Baker's cyst too, so I wish I. What a cute name, Baker's cyst. It sounds like a horrible, horrible cookie. A horrible name for a cookie or something. A Baker's cyst. I mean, I don't know. Like, I'm assuming somebody named Baker discovered it, and that's Baker apostrophe S. But it's a horrible fucking thing, and the bad thing about it is you can't kill it. unless it wants to die, you can't kill it. It just keeps coming back. I had mine burst, and then I had, like I said, I had that procedure, and it came back, and this dude's like, he's in my boat. He described almost exactly every symptom that I had with it, like tightness, immobility, stiffness, pain radiating down the leg, and then problems with the ankle. I had all that shit with this, and one of the things they recommend doing is physical therapy. But if you got, like, a aid worker that can't help you clean out the living room, my physical therapy will be cleaning out my fucking living room, trying not to fall down, so I can do my circular walk around the carpet in that big room, and then you know walk up and down and around like I did originally with a walker, and then I worked my way up to a cane, and then I got the balls enough to walk out on the street, and then whatever happened during the summer, I got depressed and stopped doing that, and started taking the rotten instead, and that turned out to be a not good thing. So yeah, but I just had to get on here and say something about that. The thing with, like, the aid worker now can legally be lazy. You know, she has doctor's permission to be lazy, as opposed to just being lazy on her own steam. That's all I got for you today. Um, yeah, I gotta, like, eat or do something. I wrote a couple more ads this morning, stole a couple of more pictures, trying to raise some money. All because, I actually trusted the government. uh, it's like, oh yeah, well, if both houses agree and they're, like, convening and talking about it, like, okay, and they all both agree about a $1,200 stimulus check, I'll go ahead and spend some of that, even though it doesn't exist. And then, like, I did the same thing after. I was like, cool. I just made $220, just assuming that people will pay. And I'm like, I spent money, and I was like, nope, should not have, should just don't spend money that you don't have. Don't count those chickens before they're hatched. Which reminds me of my favorite joke of all time, my second favorite joke of all time. But I can't tell that because it's very complicated, very long, and very easy to screw up. But I will tell it at some point. But it's the Dirty Johnny joke by Norm Macdonald, and it talks a lot about eggs. Don't Part of the joke is, somebody's like, his eggs broke. He was counting his chickens in the cart, and he was counting the eggs, and it was just like it's all a setup, if you know Norm Macdonald's style of comedy. But he tells it horribly on the Howard Stern show, but on his own podcast, if you can find it, maybe I'll find it, put it down for you, and let the master himself tell it. But I'm sure it's not for everyone. But man, I love it. I watched that podcast like 10 times. It's like one of my favorite things that I've ever seen on YouTube. They might have the joke with the audio, but the fun part is watching Stephen Merchant, who is one of the guys responsible for the English version of The Office, um, or the UK version, or whatever. Um, but his reactions of, like, almost hemorrhaging internally, trying not to laugh, and then laughing at the most uh, inappropriate parts of the joke, just like watching him as Norm Macdonald was telling this ridiculous 5-minute joke, and, like, it's almost like he can't believe it, and then it's like cracking him up, and then, like, he laughs at, he can't help it. It just comes out at, like, the most totally inappropriate time. But yeah, I'll post that. And yeah, I hope you have a good day and all that stuff I usually say. Adios.